my podcast. I'm Evelyn, and this is Navigating Time with Ev. This is my guest, Caleb. He's the first person on the podcast.
Oh, snaps. I feel special. Let's go.
That was my first time saying that, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm also really excited because this has been in the works for a minute now, and I feel like it's finally coming to life. So welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me. No cursing?
No, you can curse.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask because some podcasts are like, "Hey, watch your mouth." I'll make sure too.
No, I want this podcast to be as authentic as possible. With every guest that I have on, I want you to be you. Feel safe in this Zen room here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This room is a vibe. Like I wish they could see you. Maybe you'll show like the whole room, but no, the yellow curtains are fire. The plants are fire. The light is fire. The center table is
Everything
fire.
is fire.
Even these chairs
are
these
fire.
Chairs.
These chairs are so comfy.
And I'm not tweaked out. They're like everything in here is like hella fire. So
oh my gosh. Well, Caleb and I have known each other since high school?
Yeah.
Or middle school?
Middle school, yeah.
Did you go to Northwest?
Actually, you know what? No. High school, damn.
I thought what middle school?
I went to science.
Slicksy.
Yeah, I went there for, I think it lasted like 3 months. And I just was frustrated because I wanted to play sports bad. They didn't have anything at that time.
No, it's a science school.
Yeah. It was hard. It was hard for me.
Wait, so what middle school did you go to? Did you go to Northwest?
No, so I went to Slicksy and I went to Bryant.
Oh, you went to Bryant.
Yeah. Bryant was dope.
Really?
It was so dope.
I had so many friends that went there, but nah.
Yeah.
You guys wore uniforms.
I don't even remember if we did.
You did. There were khaki pants and white shirts.
Damn, did we? I really don't remember shit. I probably didn't wear it. So.
No, I had so many friends that went to Bryant, but like, you know what's weird is that I've never had to wear a uniform in my entire education.
Lucky. I had to wear one. Well, at Franklin, I had to wear one.
You went to Franklin?
I went to like 6 different elementary schools.
Oh, you never went to Meadowlark though, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That's where I went.
Yeah, no. Was it dope or was it?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a whole
No uniforms, I'm sure it was.
No uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, no uniforms. I always think that's crazy that all my friends in elementary wore uniforms, middle school wore uniforms.
Yeah.
And then high school now.
It made it a lot easier, I feel like, when I got into the jobs that I had where they had uniforms, because I feel like if I probably didn't have one like that, like, I don't know, I feel like it helped me transition well into some of those jobs, but...
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah, but I don't know, overall, like, I'm not a huge... I mean, now that I have my own detail and shit, like, I'm like, I'm going to have dope uniforms. It's not going to be like...
Some Dickies though?
Yeah, it's gonna be like Dickies. It'll be like the old school like music videos. Or the mechanics, where they have the Dickies and stuff.
Wash.
Yeah, like I want my uniforms to be like make people feel good. It's not like a Chick-fil-A bright red ass shirt.
What?
You know what I'm saying? like when I think of uniforms I would hate to wear, like I think of like, I don't know, McDonald's got some fire ass uniforms.
You know what? They actually
lately.
do. They kind of do.
Yeah.
McDonald's has some fire. Not sponsored, but...
Yeah, not sponsored, but shout out to McDonald's.
He's got the McDonald's Coke right there.
Shoot. We'll take $20,000 for sponsor,
McDonald's sponsored.
McDonald's is just mad convenient, but it tastes like shit. You can edit that out. We might lose a sponsor. We might lose a sponsor before we get it. Fuck.
So one thing I think I wanted to talk to you about was motivation. Because I feel like you're one of the most motivated people I know. Like, every time I get online, I see you posting, sharing the shit out of your stuff.
Appreciate that a lot.
And I love that, because it inspires me. Because it's just like, hell yeah, you're doing that, you're doing all your stuff, like... So why are you so motivated?
I don't know, I feel like I don't get caught up glamorizing, like, the hard shit, because everybody's got hard shit, you know? So, like, that's one of the things that I feel like definitely motivates me, is just knowing how hard I've had it and knowing that's like not even remotely close to the life I want to have for like my kids and my wife. So I would say that's one side of it. And then the other side of it, I would say would be just like the goals I have for myself, like what I envision my life being like. I know that I can't afford letting my emotions sway me, so I have to be indifferent about a lot of things. Like, the only thing I feel like I've struggled with, like as of late, with my motivation, that I'm starting to like something that I guess I'm not indifferent about is like my dad passing away.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the one thing that I feel like of all the things I've gone through is something that just like weighs on me like randomly. But I think like that's normal as hell, you know, like just from what I've seen, like I know people that are 50 that still feel that type of pain.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one of the things that I feel like is tough, but I also know if I lean too much into those feelings, it'll guide me away from what my goal is. Because it's, you know, if I dive into that, it's, you know, it's taken away from like, okay, we got to get out there and like do a detail, or I got to go write a song for, you know, this album coming out, or I got to paint a painting or something, you know? So it's like a lot of these things, like I use all the like feelings I get from certain things, I feel like I would say, like I'm not easily swayed. So I think that's what helps my motivation a lot is I go, okay, I feel like shit, which, you know, creative outlet can I put this into?
Dude.
You know, like that's the reason why I feel like I'm able to paint, or I'm able to write, or I'm able to, you know, do this detailing, or I'm able to be with my daughter or my wife or whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, I feel like shit, this is the best way to, you know, help me feel better at this moment. Writing, sometimes writing, I don't even want to touch a pen. Like, I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm good. And then sometimes I feel like I don't even want to paint. And then I could fall on like, okay, like I'd rather detail a car, like, and I'll go clean my car, you know, or post about it. And I'm like, okay, you know, somebody probably needs their car detailed or whatever it is. So
that's exactly how I am. Because like I feel like we're the same in where we have a lot of creative outlets.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Like I literally am like photographer, videography, podcasting.
Like why wouldn't you?
Yeah, digital artist. I have an Etsy shop. Like I just want to do it all. Yeah. And I get in these slumps where, like creative slumps where it's like that same thing's like sometimes I don't even want to touch a camera. Yeah. I'm like so over it. Yeah. In that moment. Yeah. But then I find myself like the other day I did chalk art for the first time in 10 years. Yeah. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, but it feels good. And it felt so good. Yeah, I literally was like, I just want to create something, and I thought of like inner child type stuff, which is really important. Yeah. And so I went out and I just played with chalk.
It's dope that you do that, and like that's like going back to what I told you before. Like one of the things that I appreciate the most about your content is like you don't let go of that. Like I feel like everybody when they get older, they're like, oh, like the kid side of you dies and yada yada and this, you know, sad soppy shit. Yeah, yeah. But I like that you do that, and I even told my wife, I was like, when I was younger, I made a promise to myself. I was like, no matter what age I'm gonna get to, I'm gonna always try to be a kid, like here and there. You know what I mean? Like
I think that's the secret.
Cause I feel like that's how like even with my kids, like I'm so in tune with them. Yeah. Like even my baby, and she can't say anything yet, but it's like I feel like my relationship with my daughter is so well because you know I try to tap into that side of things, and you know what I mean, like make her feel like I'm there with her. Yeah. Through the experience. You're present. Not just here I'm dad, but like let's go through this together. Let's paint together.
Yes.
Let's draw together.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Yeah, it's just something, and like what you were going back to what you were talking about emotions. Like, dude, I'm an emotional person. And like I think you're an emotional person too. Oh yeah. 100%. But you have to learn. I've learned.
Your birthday in July?
I'm a Gemini. My birthday just passed. June 11th. I just turned 27.
I turn 27 next month. Oh my goodness.
I know it's wild, but going back to the emotions. Like Evelyn in like 2017, 2018 was like had no control of her emotions. Like I was smart and I would realize what I was doing, what I needed to do, but my emotions would take over and I would do erratical things like. That just weren't smart, and I've learned to like harness them and control them. And don't get me wrong, like we slip up, we're human. Every now and then we explode or have days. But like I think being able to handle your emotions is a superpower.
Oh hell yeah!
And because like you, like you said too, you can. And it's interesting too because like you said, you can take those, the bad things that happen in life, and you can let those emotions like weigh you down and make you depressed or not want to do anything, or you can turn it around and be like, well, actually, let me release this in some creative way. And I feel like that's what you do.
Yeah, for sure. On everything, like I feel like with painting, like I hadn't even touched, because you know what happened with Wes when I got profiled and detained and all that shit.
Talk about that. Dude, I never heard the story from you.
Yeah.
I told, and like, yeah.
It's a long ass story. So
summarize it.
I'll summarize it the best I can because it's long. But so I worked in the cafeteria at West. I was sitting with like 3 other people. I believe one of them was Asian and the other 3 were white.
Okay.
And these 2 guys just walk up to me, and I think we just had an assembly or some shit, like on like colors or colors of success or some shit like I think it was something like that. And then I was doing good academically, so I was like, oh shit.
Oh, you were smart. You were such a smart kid.
Appreciate that. No, so what happened was they these 2 guys, they came up to the table and they're like, hey, we want to make you look cool. So I was like, oh shit, I wonder if it has something to do with the assembly. That's like immediately where my mind went. Was like, oh, they probably forgot to, say something to me or something. I don't know. Okay. I wasn't in Colors of Success, so I don't know like if it works like that or not. But they were adults and they were in the school, so I was like, oh, it has to be something good. So I followed them into that like little pocket room at West.
Next to the principal's office?
No, the cafeteria is on the bottom floor, and then there's that little those green doors, and then there's like it's sectioned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they brought me into that little area, and then they were like, hey, so we heard that you were tagging in the school, and I was like, well, that's false, because I can't be around aerosol paint.
Yeah.
At that point in time. Now I can't. But at that point in time I couldn't, because my asthma would like flare the fuck up, and I would like start like struggling to breathe and shit. So I was like, that's not even possible. So whoever told you that is giving you like shitty like idea of me. So
you're tagging?
Yeah. So long story short, they ended up telling me it was a teacher. I got frustrated because I was supposed to be in the cafeteria working and passing out pizzas and shit. So I was frustrated. I was like, man, I don't have time for this shit. Like, I'm out. Like, fuck this. So I like said that, and I went to walk away. I didn't know they were cops. So the guy grabs me and like swings me into his chest.
Wait, but they weren't dressed? They weren't in their cop uniforms?
They were regular casual shit. They looked like dads that attended a soccer game. So I didn't know who the fuck they were still at this point.
Yeah.
And this dude just grabs me. So I like push off. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm gonna let security know about your bitch ass. I was like, if you want to follow me, that's up to you. I was like, but I'm on my way to go let them know what's up with you, because you weird as fuck. So
yeah, I mean, it's like a goal grabbing a kid. Like, what the fuck? So
when he grabbed me, he was like, because when I went to walk away, that's what I said. I was like, oh, I'm out of here. Fuck this. I don't got time for this. I was like, I gotta work. So he said, he grabbed me, pulled me in, and slimed me against him, and he's like, quit acting like a fucking tough guy. So I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, get your weird ass off me, and went to walk up to the security office. Yeah, so I opened the door to the security room, and you know how small that fucking room is.
Small.
16 cops in that one fucking room.
16?
16 lined up, and all the kids that were in there were brown, just like us. Every single one of them. Not a single white kid in there, not a whole fucking space. And they were just walking around the room, having people self-incriminate. Like, they were pulling out a whiteboard, asking, what gang are you in? What's your nationality? This, like, and then just, you know what I'm saying? And then they were like, and they wouldn't let people leave unless they filled that shit out. And they would answer it for us if we didn't finish it. But the whole situation was fucked up. Even in that moment, like, it wasn't my first time dealing with racism.
Oh, right.
So I was like, this whole situation is fucked up. Like, they're
you knew what was happening.
Yeah. I was like,
they're profiling.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, once I seen that shit, I got mad as fuck. That was the only time I spoke the entire time I was in that room. So I was like, hey, is it cool if I call my mom? I asked this ginger cop.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you can't talk to anybody till we're done with you. So I was like, what the fuck? And this is before Trayvon Martin, so I didn't think I was going to get like killed or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt like I was going to get my ass beat after the encounter I had downstairs.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like not saying nothing, because I don't want to say anything to like get myself caught up in the bullshit. So I'm just sitting there waiting for them to like do whatever the fuck they're gonna do. This cop walks up to me, and I recognized his ass from Hollywood Connections. So I got annoyed as fuck. I was like, oh my god, here's this fucking guy. So he walks up and he's like, hey, so what gang are you in, man? No, I didn't say shit. Just didn't say anything. He's
silence.
like, what nationality are you? This motherfucker writes Mexican. I was like, bro, I'm not even fucking Mexican, bro.
He wrote Mexican?
He wrote Mexican because I didn't say shit, so he just filled it out for me. Then he did an illegal search on my belongings. He didn't ask. He didn't. Well, he asked, but I didn't respond.
Right.
So he asked, "Hey, can I go through your bag?" I see that it's open. I didn't say shit. I just looked at it and I shook my head. And he went down and grabbed my shit and was emptying my shit in front of everybody that was in there. Threw all my shit on the floor. Was scrambling through it. Found a maze that I drew for art class.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, his gang name is Maze. We're putting that down." I was like, "Bro, what the
fuck? You serious?
Yeah, this is the type of cops they fucking hiring." So he fills out Maze, and I'm like, "Maze, what the fuck?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
That should have just been your rap name.
Yeah, for real, hard to get around. Like, but I was like, "Bro, what the fuck is this Maze?" So he fills that shit out, and then they bring me to the back room, and so yeah, they bring me to the back room, and I was pissed. Like at this point, I was like livid, but I was young. You know, I was young. I think I was like 14. So I was like, my emotions were high as fuck. Like I didn't know what to do, what to say. So I didn't say shit. Like I went to that like this place that I have where I just like when I'm so overwhelmed and so frustrated.
You just kind of like shut down.
Yeah, I just shut the fuck down. Yeah. I was like, there's nothing I can say or do to get the fuck out of this.
No, they're not gonna believe you anyways.
Yeah, they're not gonna believe me. They already, they're putting shit on me. And I didn't even said anything at this, like up to this point, I haven't said nothing. Wow. And they're, coming up with all these ways to like fuck me over. Yeah. So I was like, these people aren't here to help me, and so it was super frustrating knowing that I'm in a place where I'm supposed to be learning and getting help. And, I actually, like, side note, wanted to be in law enforcement, like growing up. Yeah. So like when I seen this, I was like, bruh, ain't no fucking way I'm ever gonna be a part of this shit. So super like, frustrated situation. And what ended up happening after they filled out that whiteboard for me, they were like, hey, we're going to leave. We'll be right back. So then they came back, they grabbed me. They're like, hey, come with us. You're going to come into this room and take a picture with this whiteboard. So I walked in the room, and when we got in there, I waited till the door was closed, and I was like, I'm not taking no fucking picture. That's what I said. I think I was so traumatized by the shit. Like, but I do remember I said I wasn't going to take that photo. And the cop grabbed me by both my arms and he slammed my ass into the fridge. And he was like, "You taking this fucking photo?" And so I stood there with the whiteboard, just like in disbelief. I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm getting
this is happening."
Yeah, I was like, "Bro, I'm supposed to be at fucking work right now," but like 2 classes had passed.
Yeah, you've been there for hours.
Yeah, I was been there for a fucking minute. I was like, "Bro, this is fucking insane. I'm supposed to be in class and I'm doing this shit." So they pulled me aside. That whole shit happened.
So you took the picture with the whiteboard that said. Yeah. The whole I'm a part of this gang or whatever.
Yeah. So then they did that whole thing, and then I left. Well, I went to the office. I was like, "Hey, Mom, I need you to come and get me." I was like, "It's an emergency." I don't feel comfortable speaking about it in front of the people I'm here with. And I was like, "Hey, can you come pick me up? It's an emergency." Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Yeah, I'll be there. Just give me a second." So then my dad shows up, and so I didn't say anything for like the first. Probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. I was pissed. I was so mad. Like I said, I was shut down. Literally. Yeah, I was shut down. I didn't know how to feel. Like this is the third like traumatic incident that I've had. Yeah. The first was getting dragged through the rope. The second was getting stabbed, and then this is the third where it's like, I just got beat up by the fucking police and accused,
of being a gangster.
Yeah, accused of being a gang member. And so, I was just like I think I was. The first like 30 minutes of like me being in the car, me being home, like I was just like trying to process like everything that I was feeling. I was like, fuck, man, this is like, it's fucking insane. This is happening because I'm black. Like, so I like got fucking mad. But even though they didn't put black, they put, Mexican.
Which still, even that.
Yeah, like I know it had to do with my fucking skin, Yeah. And so I was mad as hell. And so when this is like before flat screens were really like a thing and shit. So I fucking got mad and I grabbed my TV and I went boom, threw that bitch on the floor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was pissed. And so I was like, and then my dad walked in, he was like, "Yo, what the fuck's going on in here? Like, you all right? Like, what's wrong with you?" So I was like, "No, like I'm pissed because I was like, it's some bullshit." I was like, "Fucking look at this." And so I fucking gave him the security slip. Yeah. Shit. And he was like, "What's this?" And I was like, called him and asked him. I was like, "Cause I don't fucking know what the fuck just happened to me." I was like, and he was like, "Well, I need you to talk to me." So I told him, I was like, "Look, I got fucking pulled into a room, got told, force fed that I was a fucking gang member." Yeah. And they took pictures of me and shit. And then he was like, "All right, well, we're gonna handle this." My mom gets there. She's like, "All right, let's go back to the school. Like, fuck that. Like, they're not gonna fuck with you like that." Yeah. So we pull up. We go into the school, and like they just like were like they saw my mom was white. They were like, "What the fuck?" Like, I think that's what tripped them out. Because when we came into the school, like, my mom's hella white.
Yeah.
Like, she's blonde hair, fucking green eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't look, real talk, I don't look shit like my mom. So, like, I know it threw them off, and they probably thought my ass was adopted or some shit. So, we get into the room, and then they're like, oh, well, the reason why we did this is we thought he was Mexican. And she's like, well, fucker, that doesn't make it any better.
No.
Like just because he's a fucking race that you think he is doesn't mean you can pull him, for that reason alone with no other, reason. So their whole fucking thing was basically, brought down to shit. One of them reached out to like various news outlets.
Yeah.
And I think some of them didn't respond, but I think it was like Fox or some shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I remember it was on the news, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 different like channels. And then I found out later, well, I'll get into that, but then ACLU reaches out, do this whole long fucking, trial. Then they do, they decide, the lawyers asked me, like, hey, how do you feel about doing a class action lawsuit? And so I was like, fuck, like, I don't,
You're
I
like
don't
14.
know. Yeah, I'm like, nigga, you tell me. I was like, I don't fucking know. So I was like, I don't know anything about this shit. So I was like, and then they were like, oh, well, if we do this, we could possibly help other people. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? Why asking me common sense question? Like, help them. Like, that ended up happening. But what was dope was later on in life, I found out that colleges and like, people I had never met before in my life, like people in Texas, universities, and all these other like places were doing like stories on my story.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was super dope. Like they were using my situation as like an example of what like profiling.
What shouldn't
like.
happen?
Yeah, so it was super dope. Super dope to like see that. Even though nothing more came from that, it was cool to know that it transpired to something else. Yeah. Yep. And it brought awareness. And then it changed. If I remember correctly, it changed like 10 laws. You should throw those 10 laws that it changed on the video. That'd be pretty sick. But yeah, it changed 10 laws and it made made schools safer for kids of color. They can't just go and fucking pick up kids like they used to in Utah because of my case. Like there's a lot of things that they changed actually because of my case that made it safer for, kids of color. So super dope.
That's good that happened. I mean, it's not good that the whole thing happened.
Well, I'm happy it happened to me because I've already been through shit. So it was like, like I'd rather it fucking be me than, some kid who's never had trauma and gets traumatized. Like I already was like, nigga, I've been through this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is nothing new. Like, I was like, at least it's not getting fucking dragged or stabbed. So yeah.
Wow. That's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah,
I remember like obviously everyone was like talking about it and everyone was like, and it was on the news, and that was crazy. So hearing that whole story though, I didn't know all of that. That's wild.
Yeah, and then we won. I fucked off the money. Overall though, a lot of decisions I made were good. Like my brother hadn't had no clothes and God knows how long, so I went and stocked up his closet, and it felt good seeing my little brother like have clothes and know that he was good, and like he hadn't had that for a minute, so being able to do that for him was real nice. Paid off a car that I got into an accident in like 2 weeks later.
Are you serious?
Fucked up.
Dude.
Fucked up. Yeah, that was tragic. Super tragic.
Damn, dude. That's a story.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That was the summarized version too. Still long as hell.
Summarized version. Okay, so what, as a creative, like, what do you think? Why do you think being a creative is so important to you?
Man, if I didn't create, I'd probably be crazy as fuck.
What do you mean?
Like I like it not having an outlet, like anybody else. I mean, if you don't have an outlet, like you're just gonna run yourself crazy. Everybody has a different version of what that looks like.
Right.
But I feel like with how much creativity I have in me, if I didn't have an outlet, like I can only imagine I'd probably be fucking nuts. If I'm being real.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like.
No, I feel you on that.
But I feel like what it means to me to have that, like to have creativity, like I'm grateful for it, like having a will and want and the ability to just like not be too hard on myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was thinking about that earlier too when I was detailing the car that I was telling you about, that nightmare, the nightmare detail. But I was thinking about that while I was working on the car. I was like, man, it's so like crazy to me how I can do these different like creative things, and it's like And I was like, damn, if I didn't have that, like I wonder where I would be.
What would you be doing?
I don't know.
Dude, I think that all the time. I think that about, because my creativity is now, I mean, it's always been a huge part of my life, and now it's like my job. Like, I am an in-house creator for Fatfish.
Yeah.
But like, if I wasn't, and even when I worked at building airplane parts for the military, like, it was a warehouse job and my creativity was limited, but I was still doing it on the side, right?
Most, yeah.
I was like doing side gigs here and there after work. Like, it was crazy. But if I didn't have that creative outlet or didn't like act on it, I would just be like a robot.
Yeah.
I would be like just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, and like.
And that's what's, man.
What kind of life is that?
No, real talk. When you say that, that's the reason why I started doing the detailing.
Really?
Because like I enjoy it a lot. I really do. The place I was doing it for, not so much. Like, especially when I seen how much they would make off of my productivity.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like, I was like, you charging these people like $700 to $1,000 for a semi detail, and it's like I'm taking $12 an hour plus incentive. Like, hell the fuck no, bro. So I was like, man, this shit ain't gonna work in the long term. So, but it was that, and it was also like you said, the creativity, like finding something in it to make it like, you know, like make it worth it. Was like, oh man, like what do I like? I was like, why do I even do this job? Like, and one thing that I wish all people would realize is we're all learning something that makes us a professional at something.
Oh my gosh. And we're doing it for other people.
And we're doing it for other people. Which is crazy, right? And then so I was telling him, I was like, bro, like, I didn't know how easy it was to go and start up an LLC and get insurance. Yeah. Like, I would have assumed to detail cars, like, your insurance will be like
up the roof.
Yeah, like hella expensive. So then I find out it's like $70. I'm like, what the hell? And then, you know, starting an LLC, it like, don't quote me on this, but it's like roughly like $70.
Yeah, it's like $50,
it's like,
$70.
$50, $70, yeah. And I was like, damn, I just need these two things. And it's like, okay, and I can get my name, I can get, you know, flyer, and then I'm running. Well, I mean, not really. Gotta get the chemicals and shit, like, also. But like, you know what I'm saying? The gist of it. It's like I could put, you know, one, instead of going to the movies and doing all this little other shit or going to get fast food. Yeah. Which that's a whole other thing.
Oh, you know, dude, that's a whole that's a whole other like conversation. Because even like me starting this podcast, and like I have ideas for it. I have a lot of ideas for this podcast that I'm like really excited to do. And my money's going into it, right? Yeah. But I thought to myself, like, I go eat out, I go to the movies, I go do this, like sacrificing that here and there. And putting it towards your business or your project, whatever, it won't hurt.
And you'll feel 10 times better.
Yes.
Versus that constant, like, why am I working for other people? Why am I working for other people? Like, why do I have to listen to fucking Bob tell me I'm not doing a good fucking job? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I could be doing my own thing and know that I am doing a good job.
See, and that's crazy with you starting the detailing business, because, like you said, you were doing it for another company. Yeah. You're working, like, for nothing, basically, nowadays, like $12, that's nothing. Yeah. And you're doing the same work that you would be doing, like, for yourself. Yeah. But they're getting the majority of the profit. Yeah. So you're like, so what made that click? What made you be like, why do I not just start my own business?
Well, I did. So alright, so like what made it click, I feel like, was I was in this detail and this shit was like fucking disgusting. Like, it was like hella pee bottles. There's pee all over the floor. Like, shit was foul.
I don't understand people.
And so I was like, bro, why the fuck am I like doing any of this shit? Like, I'm not happy here. Like, why the fuck am I even here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not happy with the people here. I'm not happy with, you know, the fucking hours I have to work. I'm not happy with the money that I'm making. Like, I don't get to see my family. It was not just $12 an hour. It was $12 an hour incentives, and then the incentives were ass. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then not just that, but the hours were really ass. It was 4 12s.
You know shit. I worked 3 12s for 7 years, basically.
Yeah. So. And I don't mind, like, now, like, that I'm doing my own shit, I don't mind the hours. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you get to make them.
Yeah, because the money and everything matches. Like, it's not a problem, you know? So it's different. And it's like, I'm working less than I was there. Yeah. And I'm making more than I was there.
Because you're taking in the profit.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, still, like, a lot of it has to go back to getting chemicals and shit. Yeah. But even still, like,
you're still getting more.
It's still more. Yeah, it's still more. I'm happier. You know, I get to choose. Like my biggest problem with working for other people was not being with my kids. Like not seeing them, or like not having a job, not understand if they were sick or something like that, or You know what I'm saying? Like, or just something coming up or whatever the case, was, just not having that, like having to ask somebody, like it didn't make me feel like a man. Like that's how it made me feel like I was, somebody's bitch. Like that's how it made me feel,
Kind of like, hey, can I leave early?
Yeah, can I
have
leave?
this day off?
Like why the fuck am I asking another grown man to do this shit? You know what I'm saying? Or a grown woman or whatever.
Yeah.
Like why am I asking this person to do this shit when I'm more than capable of being what I want to be for myself? You know what I'm saying? So it was that, like when I was cleaning that semi, I was like, fuck this, man. Like I'm tired of this. I was like, my resume like perceives itself like I was a general manager at fucking 20, like I think it was 21 or 20 years old of a fucking multi-million-dollar club.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to,
Dude,
do some shit on my own,
Your click story, like when it clicks, I feel like it just fits the formula of like a lot of people's click stories.
Yeah.
And why do a lot of people's click stories resolve like just like the lowest of low? Kind of. I mean, that's how I feel. You're detailing this dirty, nasty ass thing, literally cleaning up over someone else's piss.
I wish I had a picture. I wish I had a picture. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with cleaning the toilet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like cleaning the toilet, cleaning up piss. Like I can come down, on the humility. I'm not above any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was the circumstances in which I was doing it was like, bro, why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not happy. Like, and why the fuck would I continue to put myself in this situation?
Over and over again.
Yeah. I would be no more crazy than a motherfucker in a straitjacket. Like, this is insanity. I'm not going to be happy in a week from now. Like, why the fuck do I keep putting myself in this situation? So...
And then, there's people that do that, and they think that, but then they're still there for their lifetime.
Exactly. And so I was like, if I don't do anything now, like I'm gonna be here forever, And so, what I thought it was like, okay, I did sales for Vasa. I did it for a long time.
I remember that.
Like I was good at it.
You were really good at it.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved like the fact that they
bought Vasa from you.
Yeah, they gave me like the freedom after so long to like choose who I hired.
Yeah.
So I got to build my own teams up from scratch.
I do remember that. Wow.
People respected my ability to sell. I would get calls from other states, like asking me how I like would reach numbers. And so it was a job that showed me how capable I am when I really believe in something. And unfortunately, I lost that situation, when COVID came around, and then I lost my dad around the same time too. And then it was a huge
just spiral.
Yeah,
down.
spiral. How I would look at it then, but now I'm like, fuck, that happened for a reason. Like, cause I applied to like 40 fucking jobs.
You know what I'm saying? That would started the trajectory of moving forward.
Yes. So, and I didn't even realize it till I started doing this detailing business. So when I was with Vasa, I was selling like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 agreements.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With personal training. And like, I can't name 5 other people out of all the people I've met with the company that could sell
that much.
Yeah. Like the way I was doing it.
Right.
So, and when I say the way I was doing it, I mean with integrity. But so that's what I mean. Honest business only. And I stand by that shit. So
you do.
So that whole situation happened. I lost that, and I lost my dad. So sales and just like everything, that's where K came from. Was like, okay, I'm tired of people calling me fucking Caleb, because it's just like whenever I heard that, I would hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, damn, my dad can't even call me this no more. So it's like, fuck, like I don't even want to be called Caleb no more. So like literally, I killed that shit. Like as soon as I left, from now on, everybody calls me K. Even my wife, like everybody calls me K. Because it just,
I didn't know that. I'll call you K now.
But it like, you know what I'm saying? So it hurt like bad. Like I don't even know how to explain this shit. It's just a weird thing.
I get it.
So what happened was I finally, like out of the 40, like I applied to 40 places. I'm not fucking kidding. Like I was stressed out. When COVID and shit happened, like I applied to like 40 places. Nobody hit me up. Well, actually, all right. So I applied to the credit repair company. They hit me up. Nobody else did. So I went and worked for Progression.
Okay.
Worked there for like a year and some change. But I think probably like a month or 2 after I applied there, I went and also worked at Blue Beacon. So I was at both of these places for about a year and a half. And so I was working 240s like for a minute. Like I was just going. So like, but it helped me it helped me like keep my mind off of what was hurting me so much.
Do you think you were diving into your work to avoid feeling?
I think I was, but I also knew, like, I know me, when I latch onto negative, like, I get stuck on it for a minute.
Yeah.
So I was like, what can I do to, like, break down these emotions where I'm taking them bit by bit, but I'm still doing something productive? Okay. So I was like, I'm going to work my ass off because I know it's going to benefit me. I know it's going to benefit my family. I know it's going to benefit my kids and my wife. So, like, that's a good thing. Yeah. You know, I won't be there as often as I want to be. But really, like, me right now is not the best me. So I'd rather not be there and give them a shit, you know, than give them a shit version of me. So I was like, when I have those times with them, we'll be able to go out and do things. We'll be able to spend time together, like, and do whatever we want to do. So I was like, this is the best route to go right now. So
that's a good way to look at it. I feel like not everyone would look at it that way.
Yeah. So, and it was hard because it was like, damn, I want to talk about these feelings, but I also know, you know, if I don't take them in like gradually, I'm gonna dive. You know what I'm saying? And so left. So I ended up working at those jobs. I left to do the painting. So I left to do painting for a little bit, and it just got like depressing, I think is the word that I'm looking for. Okay. Because I was just like all I was doing was waking up, painting, trying to, you know, sell the shit. I sold it. And I would just sit at home and just like stare at the fucking wall all day. And I'd be around my kid and like my wife, and it's like, not that it's a problem with that, but I was like, man, like, I enjoyed being out doing something. Something's got to change. And so I was like, wait, I did sales. I was like, I cleaned the outside of car, you know, trucks and semis and Lambos and all this other shit for like 2 years. And then now I'm cleaning the inside. I was like,
that's like the formula.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna fucking detail cars. I was like, what the hell is wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, it works out perfectly. And thinking about it now, I'm like, man, had I never worked at Vasa, I'd be too scared to ask somebody to pay $100 or $200 or $300 for a detail. Yeah, I'll be too scared, you know. But after that experience, like, I know
your worth.
Not even just that, but I know the type of quality I'm putting into, you know, and the effort and the honesty and everything. I know all the other things that come with the worth. So it's like, yeah, self-worth is one thing, but if you don't have the characteristics to make it equal out, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, where the fuck is that price coming from? So I knew the ability was like there. I knew the honesty was there. I knew the quality was there. So I was like,
and it's all about you too. Yeah. Like the experience with you. Yeah. You know?
And I know everybody that I meet, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be somebody I just met like today. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you 110% because I feel like, why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Like why wouldn't I give, you know what I'm saying? Unless you give me a reason not to, you know, but you haven't done that. So it's like, why would I go into any relationship not giving this person my all? And so I know with that type of mindset, with this business that I'm just starting, I know it's a recipe for success. Like the ability is there, the care is there, the, you know, sense of like, okay, I'm about to take care of somebody. Yeah. Like, I'm going to make sure that they're good. Right. Like, they're trusting me. They put a lot of money into,
like how you would want someone to take care of you.
It's just the golden rule, you know? And so, like, when I think about anything, like, you know, that's why it makes it so easy. Like, even though the first 2 weeks, the first 2-3 weeks were fucking rough. Like, I'm not going to make it seem like this is a fucking come-up story because we still coming up. But the first 2 weeks were, like, really rough. I was, like, questioning myself. I felt really fucking stupid. I even asked my wife. I said, babe, I need you to be honest with me. Like, am I fucking stupid? Like, I was like, am I crazy? Like, and I need you to be real with me because, like, I've never done some shit like this before.
But I feel like those questions and those thoughts are normal. Yeah. I feel like everybody that starts their own business, that starts something new, has that question. And I think if you're not asking yourself those questions,
it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
It'd be a problem. Exactly. Yeah. If you think you got everything right, everything figured out.
In the beginning.
And so after those 2, 3 weeks, like I was telling my friend, I was like, man, like it really was like a week and a half, like before things started kind of going. And then it was like, all right, I'm going to do this car, for free. It was my mother-in-law. And then I was like, I'm going to do my car. I'm going to do my grandfather's car. He's never had a detail. And it was like a PT Cruiser that I posted. It was like 18 years. He never had a detail. And so I was like, man, like, I was like, I'm just going to bring it back to the base of who I am. Yeah. And pray that fucking works. Yeah. And that's service unto others, like help other people. So and not expecting any. You know, I was like, if something comes from it, cool. But if not, at least I know I did everything I could do to try to make this work out. And if not, then at least like I know that I really gave it my all. You know,
that's so funny to say that. People. Yeah, that's helping people. That's so funny you say that right now because, you know, like the Instagram notes. Yeah. My Instagram note right now is open your heart and be of service to others. Yeah. Like, because this is what I've been thinking about.
It's a lost art.
Yeah. No, it is. People are so selfish.
It's not even just that. Well, I mean, it is that, but it's everybody's an opportunist, it feels like now. Mm-hmm. Like, it's as soon as an opportunity comes, it's like, I gotta get it and fuck everyone else. Yeah. Like, versus like, let's all get it and then get another one together and get another one together
and build like a community and a network. And dude,
speaking of the project that I just worked on, perfect fucking example. People you do like, you know, certain situations. Yeah. You know, some people just want, you know, more. They want 100% of one thing versus, you know, 2% of 100 different things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And nobody thinks about like I don't know. It's just crazy to me, like how people get so caught up on like, you know, wanting so much to the point where they get so blind that it fucks every other opportunity up for them. Like they block their own blessings.
Well, and I feel like too with that, like I feel like a lot of times, right? You're saying everyone's an opportunist nowadays. Yeah. I feel like that's getting rid of genuine connections. Exactly. It feels like people are just wanting to like use you, which like. They're to some extent, right? It's like, let's help each other.
Yeah, there's not I feel like there's a connotation with that. Yeah. Like, and I like when people say use, like people immediately go to the negative connotation. Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of good that can be, you know, like you could be used for good.
Yeah,
like,
you could.
And people don't immediately go to that. Like when I hear used or I hear obsessed or I hear like, you know, like for me, obsessed is passionate. Uh-huh. Like that's how I hear it. Until I see it's like it's a bad obsession. Like, but I automatically, you know, assume after, you know, training myself, like, cause I probably got 13,000 notes in my phone right now of like just like raps and just random shit. Like, but it's like it's something that I'm obsessed with in a healthy way. But if I were going to say I'm obsessed, they would automatically assume it's a bad thing. Right. But I do feel like when people feel like they're being used, they don't care to like they don't not care, but they don't think to see the positive side of it.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm fine like if someone and maybe there's a better word for it of like uses me to like learn, right? Or to like want to like develop a skill or have an opportunity. That's fine, but I feel like there's a level of like authenticity and genuineness that I need to that comes with it. Yeah. Not just someone that I feel like, oh, you don't really care. Yeah. You know, you're just trying to like step over everyone else type thing.
I feel like the one thing that I've noticed, without even like talking about it, this is probably the first time I ever talked about it, but I feel like people don't know how to. And I feel like that also takes away from like what you are hoping that you get that, but because of the way things are nowadays, like some people are so used to certain things, they want to create a genuine connection, and they just don't know how to. But that's really what they want, and they're saying that they just don't know how to. And so I feel like when I've had people come to me, like for example, with like asking for help with just random shit, like whether it be agreements or hey bro, what stuff do you use for deep cleaning or anything like that. I don't gatekeep. I don't keep, you know, withhold information on that shit. And I also try to understand, like, this person probably does want a genuine, you know, relationship. Yeah. They probably just don't know how to, you know, because, like, most people that I speak to, like, just don't know how to communicate. Like,
no, you know what I'm saying?
Like, and it's not like, I don't think it's necessarily a problem. Yeah. It's just unfortunate because it's like, like, we miss out on this opportunity to create a bond because you probably grew up getting taught that communicating is a bad thing from your parents, and now you're spewing that shit into the world. You asking these questions, I'm like, damn, like these are like some real open-ended questions that really let me say what I've been feeling. So I feel like I'm in a therapy session. It's nice. No, it feels good. Like I'm happy as hell right now.
You know, I'm glad. That's so funny that you say that. Not necessarily you're saying this, but like my entire life I've been told that I was like everyone's therapist. Yeah. Like. And what's weird is that I'm the type of person, I don't know why, but people will just meet me and then they'll tell me things like, I've never told anybody this. And then tell me, like, their deepest, darkest secrets. Yeah. And I'm always like...
Well, you ask good questions. You don't make people feel cornered either. And the way you arrange these seats, very smart. It's not intimidating. Usually when people are sitting straight across from you, it's intimidating as fuck. But like, this is like, I forgot who said it, but I was watching like a video on podcasting, and they said the best way to like make people feel comfortable is side by side them, not straight across. Because it makes them feel like they're being...
interviewed.
What's the other one?
Interrogated.
That's the word, yep.
That's good, though. I love listening. Yeah. Like, I love listening to people. I also love talking. Yeah. One of the whole reasons I'm doing a podcast is I realized, like, me and some of my friends, like, can talk for hours. Yeah. And just, like, about anything. Yeah. And, but a lot of the things we say, I get, like, these, we call them nuggets, like, these downloads where it's like, whoa, like epiphanies. Yeah. And so I started thinking, you know, I feel like I have a lot of things to give to whoever listens, that they can take something away and, like, learn from it, apply it to their life. And then I feel like I know a lot of people like you and everyone else that I'm going to have on this podcast that I'm really excited about. Like, they have the same type of little knowledge that I feel like people can take away. Yeah.
Well, what's nice about the content you create and what I feel like personally, what I feel like will separate you from every podcaster that I've like sat with is how genuine your content is. Like, it's dope. Like, no, for real, like even like when you were sitting on the swing, like that video I just seen the other day, I was like, man, that's so fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who, like, I ain't never seen nobody take no video or no shit like that before. That shit is so dope to me, though. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You throw out a little random fact about, you know, swinging and shit, but I'm like, man, that's so like, I'm like, damn, when was the last time I was on a fucking swing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it made me think. And I was like, man, that's so dope. Like, it makes you, like, remember to, like, be a fucking human. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I get from your content.
That makes me so happy,
and that's why I've been wanting to work with you. That's why I was telling you,
like, I'm so excited.
Like, I feel like that is what I want in what I'm doing. And I know how to be genuine. Yeah. It's just, like who I've worked with, like, I'm not saying that it's, you know, they lack skill because of that, but it's not something that they are, you know, honed in on doing, is the ability of catching, you know, the genuine moments and asking genuine questions and, you know, creating genuine environments.
See, and I feel like a skill that I've recently realized that I've had it forever, but like I recently realized it was a skill, is because I'm a photographer, videographer, so I'm constantly capturing people at work and all that stuff, but like candidness, like genuine in the moment type thing. Because you could have a photographer that's like, okay, pose, you know, or like do
act
this,
happy,
act happy or whatever. But like, I'm really good at capturing someone in the moment, and I'm so fast, dude. Like how I whip out my phone and just like record a moment and then just put it down. Like, people are like, how do you have videos of like all these
like genuine happiness, genuine like that's what I was trying to say too, is like. That's why, like, when you said, I'm starting a podcast, would you be one to come? Like, that's a fucking no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you, like, have the ability to make people feel super comfortable, and it's so obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, going back to your content, like, it makes me feel human when I watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Everything else is, like, so fast, and it's in your face, and it's, like there, you don't take anything from it. You don't, like... You're lucky if you ever take a feeling from the shit you see nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so it's like when I see like you managed to be able to fit like 3 different feelings in a 15-second video. Like, that's a fucking skill. And it's not just 1 or 2 videos I've seen. It's like every video you post. So
that swing video that I did post, that was on my birthday. Yeah. And me and my friend went to Liberty Park and we just went on the swings and we were just talking, and that video makes me so happy. Yeah. Because it's just like, I don't know, there's something like wholesome. Even me, even when I watched it, I was like, there's something so wholesome about that. Yeah. I kind of forgot it was me in the moment. Yeah, even that video that you posted of the lake, like with everybody like with the ball. Gosh. I was like, damn, that shit is like a 90s movie. That's fucking sick. I was like, literally, I felt like I was watching like some VHS tape. I was like, this shit is raw as hell. So, yeah, no, like real talk, props to you and your ability. Like, you know, like it's rare. Especially now, I feel like it's extremely rare, and this company is extremely lucky to have you. No, thank you.
You know, like, real talk, like, for real, for you, a diamond in the rough, and not for long, I guarantee it. That just makes me so happy to hear, because, like, my number one thing is, and we've talked about this, is authenticity. Yeah. Like, I just want to be me, and I just want the people around me to feel
comfortable enough to be themselves.
Yeah.
And just give people like the space to talk. And that's why this whole podcast exists. And thanks for being the first guest.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored, for real.
I literally called Caleb like a couple hours ago as he was finishing a detail and being like, hey, what are you doing tonight?
I was dirty. I was like black all over my arm. Already black, but like I'm talking like had dirt. Like it was like intense. I was wearing a white shirt. I looked tore up.
But he went home and he showered and he's like, I'll be there. And so that's
what we do.
That's what's happening, and I'm super stoked about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Like, what is the thing that you hoping people take from you the most in your podcast? Like, what are you hoping people take from it, and then also, what are you hoping people receive?
I want people to be able to like take away epiphanies.
Yeah.
Like, we could be talking about what we talked about, and it doesn't even apply necessarily to anything in their life in the same topic. Yeah. But it could, like, the lesson could apply. So I want there to be like lessons between, like, from me and the people that are on here, like you.
Yeah.
Because people, you know, the smallest thing can strike somebody. They can hear it, and it could change their life.
Yeah.
Like, it could change their mindset. It could make somebody want to, like, go out and create. So, you know, someone might hear this and, like, want to go on the swings or do something for their inner child. I want there to be an effect.
Yeah.
And whatever that effect is, like, if it's you're creating something, if it's you're improving yourself, like, your self-growth, if it's, like, improving yourself financially or trying to become more authentic, like, anything like that. I just want them to, like, listen to this podcast and just take something away that they can apply to their life to make it better.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's hella dope. No, bro, that's dope. And I, like, also, too, just so you know, like, I'm here in the moment, and I've probably had 3 epiphanies while sitting there. So you're doing great.
Thank you.
I appreciate you a lot, and always an honor. So
thank you. And that's kind of what the podcast name, like, I didn't explain this, so we'll explain it now, but it's Navi, so it's navigating life. Yeah. Well, actually, I haven't decided if it's navigating life or navigating time. It'll be one or the other. It could be both, yeah. But it's, I'll just say, because right now the Instagram name is Time with Evelyn, so it's navigating time with Ev. Because, first of all, my character that I made, the little digital me, her name is V.
Which is fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Her name is V, and so, like, navigating, it's navigating. Yeah. And then also, I love The Legend of Zelda and, like, an Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
His little compass is Navi, the little fairy that, like, helps him guide him through his journey. So it's kind of like a play on that, too.
That's dope.
So, navigating time, life.
Zelda is fire as fuck, so anything tied with that is dope. So
I'm kind of a nerd, if you didn't know that. Like,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh no, I love it.
It's dope as fuck. That's the new normal.
But yeah, so that's why the podcast is named that, and it's helping. I want to help others navigate their life, their time, by taking little lessons from these podcast.
That's dope.
Episodes. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, for real.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to say? No?
No? Thank you for having me, and it was an honor, and I had a good time, and I can't wait for people to hear that, because those are thoughts. Like, a lot of what I said, I feel like it's some, stuff that I've been thinking about for a minute, and like, you asked the right questions and got it out of me, so thank you. So.
Okay, now just look at this camera, and just tell the people, like, where they can find you online, or what you're up to.
By the time you have this out, I'll probably be going back by my username on Instagram is KTheDawg. It'll be KTHADAWG. And then K Deep Cleans is my detailing. Yep. And that's where you can find me.
And what about your rap?
Oh, same place. Yeah. You can find me on both. I'll be posting songs and stuff like that on videos, so on both pages. So
cool. Awesome.
But thank you, for real. It means a lot.
Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you.
We're gonna take a Polaroid of you real quick.
Oh, fire.
1, 2. There we go. And we'll take one together.
Fucking ghost me. She's like, alright, fuck the Polaroid idea.
No, that's a whole other podcast episode I'm gonna have with other people. Yeah. I've been through some paranormal shit.
Oh, for real? Me too. I'm not playing. I'm not joking.
But maybe we'll have to have you back like later.
Yeah.
So I've seen some shit.
No, yeah, I had when we lived in a duplex, I had like this fucking witch under a bed like reach out to grab me, and I fucking like ran. Like dead ass. I'm not like I would never make no shit up. I put that on my dad.
Wow.
Like I've never seen it since. So
yeah, no, fuck that, fuck that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since. I told my wife about it, but you know, shit, I always knock on wood. Fuck all that.